Hello students. So this is a question from data structures and algorithm analysis, and it's a 1 marks question. Okay. For all asymptotically positive functions f of n plus big O of f of n is, and there are these options which are given to us. Okay. So let's try to solve this question. So let's take some function g of n belongs to big O of f of n. Okay, so what is big O of f of n? Big O of f of n are all asymptotically larger or at least as large as f of n, asymptotically larger or at least as large as f of n functions. Okay, so this is a set of functions which are asymptotically larger or at least as large as f of n. Okay, so let's assume that g of n belongs to big O of f of n. So from this we can say that g of n is also equals to big O of f of n. Okay, that means 0 less or equal g of n less or equal constant time f of n. This property is satisfied for some constant c greater than 0 and n greater or equal n naught. Okay, so this property is satisfied. So from this we can say that f of n plus g of n, okay, f of n plus g of n is also big O of f of n. Why? Because from this property we can say that this sum, because g of n is less or equal constant time f of n, this sum will also be less or equal constant times f of n. That means this property is satisfied. Okay. Now, because g of n is a function which might be asymptotically larger or it is at least as equal as f of n polynomially. That means f of n plus g of n equals to big omega of f of n. This is also true. Why? Because this is asymptotically larger or it is at least as large as f of n. Okay, so that means this property is satisfied. 0 less or equal constant times f of n less or equal f of n plus g of n. Okay, for some constant c greater than 0. So because both these properties are satisfied, f of n plus g of n is also theta of f of n. So C is the correct answer. Thank you.